Hello everyone. What we're going to look at is converting from fractions to decimals into percentages in whichever way we're asked to do. So what we're going to do is convert between the fractions, the decimals, and the percentages. First thing that I'm given is 4/5. There is no correct way to say, okay, well first I need to convert to a decimal and then to a percent. You need to work how your brain sees it. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and convert this 4/5 to a decimal. And I'll do my scrap work over here. Okay. So what this says is 4 divided by 5. 5 cannot go into 4, so there's a 0. Bring my decimal point up. Can 5 go into 40? Yes, 8 times. So to a decimal, it is equivalent to 0.8. To convert my decimal to a percent, it's like I'm multiplying by 100, correct? Or I can view it as moving the decimal place 2 spots. So the decimal to the right. The decimal will move 2 places to the right. 1, 2. That's my new decimal place. And then I must add a percent to it. So what that turns into is 80%. These are equivalent. Visually, give you a visual representation. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Horribly mismatched. Poorly drawn. But this is one whole, this whole rectangle, if you call it a rectangle. Alright? And what I have is 4 of these, 4 out of 5, shaded in. And that is the same as saying I have 0.8 of these filled in, or saying that I have 80% of this filled in. Next one, I'm given a decimal. So I'm going to convert to a percent first. So what that means is that I say 0.625, and I'm converting from a decimal to a percent. So I'm going to move the decimal place how many spots? 2. Into what direction? To the right. So 1, 2. That's my new decimal spot right there. 62.5, and I put a percent on there to let me know, hey, I did multiply this by 100. That decimal place is moved 2 places, and then so that is equivalent to 62.5%. Now to convert this to a fraction, I have 2 ways that I can look at this. I can either go off of the decimal, or I can go off the percent. The first way is that I'll show you is from the decimal. Tens, hundreds, thousands place. Again, tens, hundreds, thousands place. So I make this over 1,000. And then I have to simplify. Or I can look at this and say, well, that simply means if I get rid of this, that means divide by 100, correct? Or I can look at it like that, 62.5 divided by 100. Whichever way is correct. It doesn't matter as long as your place values are set up. And if you look at this, I've taken away 1 0 from here. It was 1,000, now I made 100, so I had to move my decimal point on the 625 over 1 spot to where now it's 62.5 over 100 versus 625 over 1,000. These are equivalent. Same thing, you can get your calculator out and type in both of those values and you will end up with the same answer. And with this, what matters is how you think of it. Okay, how you think of that. For this fraction, I can simplify it 125 will go into both of those, and that simply becomes 5/8. And when you do these, you have to have your fraction in simplest form. Alright, 5%, I'm going to convert that to, let's say, decimal first, because we know that procedure. If I take 5%, right, what I'm looking at as a decimal, I'm going to move that 2 places, correct? So what that equals is 0.05. So 0.05, I moved it 2 places. Oops, I need to show that, sorry. I moved it 2 places, 1, 2. I moved it 2 places to the left. And 0.05, I'm just going to do that as tens, hundredths place. So it means 100 in the denominator, 5 over 100. And 5 will go into both of these. 5 will go into 5 one time, and 5 will go into 100 20 times, which equals 1 over 20. And that is converting between fractions, decimals, and percentages. Again, all of these are interchangeable. All of these are equivalent. For me, I can kind of picture 5/8, but for me, this would be the better visualization for me in my mind to be able to pick something, say 62.5. Here, between these two, again, it would probably be the percent, be able to say 5% of something. And guys, that is it for converting between fractions, decimals, and percentages. You just need to know how to do it so that way you can present your data how you best see it, or whoever you're giving the data to, that you can be able to present it to where they can see it best. Alright, remember, watch your publisher's videos, watch those videos, critically think and structure your homework, write everything out and write it neatly, and good luck on the rest of your homework.